Are you a contractor, private railway or industrial concern who's looking for a new locomotive of quality? Well, look no further. Manning Wardle and Rapido Trains UK have joined forces to bring you the perfect locomotive and meet all of your motive power needs. Introducing our brand new double O gauge L class. Now, order yours today and choose between the comfort of our cabbed version or the unrestricted visibility of our cabless model. The choice is entirely yours. Also available in a multitude of colours and detail variations, this reliable 060 is guaranteed to enhance your fleet. The L Class is perfect for all your light railway, industrial, colliery and general contracting purposes. Order your L Class today as the order books are closing soon, so contact your Rapido Trains UK representative with haste.
The name Manning Wardle is a manufacturer held dear by many industrial railway enthusiasts. With a long tenure building some of the world's most eye-catching and often somewhat obscure-looking engines, Manning Wardle's origins go back to the earliest days of railway history. With Manning Wardle sending locos around the globe, an element of standardisation within their design and manufacturing process was deemed a sensible step forward. So, the Manning Wardle designers conceived the standard classes, a selection of locomotives of varying sizes and power. This made it easier for contractors and private owners to choose a suitable loco for their needs. Each class was simply given a different letter to denote their type. The L class was favoured by civil engineering contractors and worked on several light railways, with two versions surviving into preservation. So, it was the obvious choice for us when we decided to produce a ready-to-run Manning Wardle in the double O gauge. Originally intended to be a smaller version of the larger M class, the L design was changed so it became a souped-up version of the K class, inheriting the K's wheelbase, boiler barrel length, and cylinder diameter. Its uprated areas were both the boiler diameter and the cylinder stroke. These changes meant the Ls had a moderate pulling power while still retaining an unmistakably Manning Wardle aesthetic. Though each standard class maintained a similar frame, boiler and overall size and power to their classmates, there were a multitude of detail and cosmetic differences from batch to batch. These included alternative wheels, buffers, steps, smoke boxes, valves, and even with or without a covered cab. Around 100 Class L Manning Wardles were built. Examples were shipped to places such as Sweden, Mexico, Hong Kong and China. There was even a converted crane locomotive that was sent to India, which used the class as a basis. Of course, we can't forget the eclectic mix of British contractors, which also had L classes on their books, completing a multitude of work the length and breadth of the nation. Despite their modest size and range, the Manning Wardle's iconic look has always been popular with industrial railway enthusiasts. This popularity favoured them in the preservation era, and a healthy number of standard and narrow gauge locos survived across the world, with two Class Ls among them. Our range of double O gauge models includes a multitude of detail and livery variations throughout the range. Let's take a closer look at each one. Our first two models are of a locomotive loved by preservation and industrial railway enthusiasts alike. Works number 1601, or better known to many as Matthew Murray. Currently preserved at the Middleton Railway in Leeds, this is definitely a fan favourite. Finished in a rich blue colour, we have modelled it in its 2010 condition, the very livery our general manager passed his steam loco driving test on. Of course, Matthew Murray had a long and busy working life before its preservation days, so it was only fitting that we include a version in industrial working condition too. Prior to receiving the name Matthew Murray, number 1601 was named Arthur. Working alongside her Class L twin known as Apex, and a gaggle of other industrial locomotives, Arthur and her fleetmates worked at the APCM Stone Court Chalk Works near Dartford in Kent. Fitted with dumb buffers and painted in a lovely green colour, Arthur will be an ideal model for those wanting to model quarries or have a crack at weathering something interesting. The next preserved example in our range is works number 1210, the beautiful Sir Berkeley, and like Matthew Murray, Sir Berkeley currently resides at the Middleton Railway. Decked out in its wonderfully lined two-tone green livery, Sir Berkeley is the first model in our range to feature the weatherboard cab style. While those on the footplate are incredibly exposed, this almost cabless design means that enthusiasts and modellers can enjoy an unobstructed view of its wonderful cab details. The model represents the locomotive in its current preservation state. Sir Berkeley has an interesting history, having worked all over the UK and in an impressive number of different industries along the way. Supplied to Logan and Hemingway in 1891, Sir Berkeley would contribute to the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway, later referred to as the Great Central, the Crofton Tunnel widening at Barnt Green for the LMS, and the Great Western's Westbury and Frome cut-offs. This is only a handful of the many railway developments that this loco worked on across the country. In 1935 it was sold to the Cranford Ironstone Company of Kettering, where it received the familiar Sir Berkeley nameplates. Having spent many years in preservation, it underwent an overhaul in 2009 and was repainted in its Cranford livery. Our second Sir Berkeley model represents the loco as it was following this overhaul. Complementing Sir Berkeley as one of its sister locos, Works number 1191 was also a Logan and Hemingway contractor locomotive, and worked on many large projects across the country and often alongside its sister loco. It is finished in a similar livery to Sir Berkeley's current preservation condition and has been given the running number 20. This is a great model if you're looking to represent an independent contractor locomotive that went everywhere, or maybe an alternative shedmate for Sir Berkeley. Given the almost universal appeal of Manning Wardles within the industrial sector, it is hardly surprising that some would end up in the hands of the National Coal Board. Works number 1690 was delivered to the Staveley Coal and Iron Co. near Chesterfield in 1906. It was then inherited by the NCB upon the Coal Industry Nationalisation Act of 1946, and later worked at the Yorkshire Main Colliery. With a full cab, Forward was well equipped to protect its crews from the blustery Yorkshire weather. In addition to an eclectic mix of NCB wagons, Forward will be the ideal model to run alongside our Staveley Coal and Iron Co. 7-plank PO wagon, which was part of our 2024 RCH 1907 PO wagon range. The final fully cab version in our range is number 1674 Bombay. This worked as a dockside locomotive for Samuel Williams and Sons of Dagenham. We felt that as it had such a sharp line livery we couldn't exclude it from our range. To give modelers another ideal contractor locomotive, we have included an 8th version that features a weatherboard cab style and dumb buffers and is then finished in an eye-catching red livery. 2 extra additions to the range are these what-if locomotives. Number 331 posits the idea that the South Eastern and Chatham Railway bought a second-hand L-class in the early 1900s. The number is an homage to another SECR Manning Wardle, 313. This is decked out in the attractive lined green livery of the Wainwright era. Whilst not a faithful model of a prototype locomotive, you may feel that this is plausible enough for your southeastern layout, or perhaps even a preserved locomotive. Slightly more fanciful is the sister loco, number 481 Hawthorne. A little nod to its K-class cousin, this is finished in the same lining as 331, with the colour palette changed to match our other SECR Neverwazzer, the 01 Bramble. Whilst this engine is a complete flight of fancy, it really does look pretty in this paint scheme, and might be a perfect match for your freelance railway. All of the Rapido L-Class models feature a smooth running mechanism, a factory-installed speaker, NEM coupler pockets, and an ESU E24 decoder socket. They are constructed from highly detailed die-cast metal and injection-moulded plastic components, including those lovely cab details, with a die-cast running board for extra weight and traction. Individual models will include variations of the cab steps, frames, wheels, buffers and buffer beams, smokebox and smokebox doors, valves, tanks, and backhead. The models can then be personalised with a selection of interesting additional parts such as vac pipes, coupling chains, and the commonly seen dumb buffers. Order books are open for the 00 gauge Manning Wardle L-Class, and all previously mentioned liveries are available in DCC sound fitted and DCC ready versions. You can pre-order your L-Class by going directly to our website or through any of our official stockists. So if you want to add a locomotive of the highest quality and detail to your collection, make sure you get your pre-orders in now, as the order books are closing soon. You won't want to miss out.